Oh, welcome, 'cause you're the best part. Hello, everybody. Today's video is coming from a little spot that I call the canyon. It's really a holler with a river at the base. And I'll show you the river. And there's my dog. There's the river. And it's just a beautiful place with some incredible energy, and I decided to make today's video from here. Welcome back. I'm going to be continuing to make videos about the things that are being revealed to me from beyond the mind, beyond the concepts or perceptions of the mind, and into the broader field of awareness. Some people call that other dimensions and other names, and then it gets really complicated, but it's actually really simple. Our awareness is like the aperture of a camera. When we hold a lot of beliefs about things based in our minds, our field of awareness is very small. But when we go beyond the mind, and go into that greater field of all things, beyond what science would tell us is 1.5% of our active DNA that the mind has dominion over, beyond all that, into the really juicy stuff, the 98.5%. And today I'm going to talk about one of the cards, and the cards should be done by Thursday, being printed in the Netherlands. But there's a specific card I want to speak to today. And it's this one. So you can see a leaf in the background, and then this beautiful star of light in the foreground. And the leaf represents the soul, and so does the light. So this card is called the Receiver, and its message says, as the leaf is to the tree, so are we to the wisdom of the journey. And that means the journey here, or the journey no matter where we are, no matter what facet of our soul is being expressed, no matter where that is in the greater field of awareness. If Source is the tree, we are the limbs, the leaves, the flowers, and the fruits of that same tree. And just as the leaves, and I'm going to turn my leaf, just as the leaves turn themselves to the sun and receive the wisdom of the sun that brings the sunlight in, energy, the frequency that the sunlight provides, it brings it into the leaf, through the branch, into the trunk, and into the earth to share with all that is. So is the intention for our journey here, our soul's intention. Our soul's intention for being here is to be the receiver of the wisdom of the journey. The events that we have chosen, the families we've chosen, the situations that we've chosen, fully aware that we would come here with wisdom instilled in those events, learning, things to receive. But the ego has kind of hijacked it. The ego has wanted us to believe that due to circumstances or intensities of events that we're to see it as trauma, the illusion of trauma. As if there's a bad boogie person, bad boogie something there, when the reality is that we were there to receive the wisdom of the events. You know, I've told this story many times in moments during sessions or in groups in different situations, just as an example of this receivership that we agreed upon. My biological mother, having the psychological impairments that she had, never picked me up as a child. never held me, and at sometimes didn't feed me. A cousin of hers, who is a person that I'm closer to, has talked to me about this and asked me about my feelings about it and how have I dealt with this kind of thing. And for so many years in my life, I saw that, was like, oh my God, why did she do that? Because there were things that occurred because of that. Choices that I would make believing that I wasn't good enough or something to that effect. And for the longest time, it was my mantra when feeling about this kind of thing was, well, couldn't she hear me? I know I must have been crying. I know that I must have cried out or something. I must have done something. How could she have just walked away from that? And then there came the time when I realized that she walked away so I could remember. As a soul, we choose our journeys, just as I said a moment ago. We choose these journeys. We choose the families, many of the situations, circumstances, fully aware of the profound wisdom instilled in those events for us to receive, especially now, especially for those of us who have chosen to be here now in this deeply, deeply transformative time that we're in. And when I recognized all that, I thought, oh my gosh, I chose that, but so did she. She chose as a soul to come in and play that role, that mother, to be that mother that would walk away so that I could remember who I am and keep my connection with the ethereal as I do, as I always have during this journey. And it's what has allowed me to be able to see beyond the muck. A good friend of mine, Sana, we've called it the muck in our conversations. And it's this sticky, heavy, thick energy of illusion that is projected and created by the beliefs that the ego would have us believe that we're victims of our situations. We are here to be receivers because, especially in this time that we're in now, the earth is in her transition period. She is in her period of transition and transformation, and she is ascending. And we are intended to ascend with her. But she will no longer, in this new earth, she will no longer hold paradigms or frequencies for illusion, for seeing the events as trauma, or seeing the transitioning of another soul, continuing on with their journey from this earth as grief. And because grief imprisons us. Grief is a weight so heavy, and grief is nothing more than the illusional attachment to the form. It was never the form that loved you. Yes, there was a physical touch there, but the energy you felt through that touch came from the soul. And once that soul becomes interconnected, as all things are, and once you meet here, in this realm or any other, there's no way to disconnect. There's no way for it to be gone. And so it is our ego's dominioning over our beliefs and how we see the world that would tell us, oh, well, they're gone now. And in reality, all they've done is expand. Their presence is ever present, is omnipresent in the phase of the soul, in the state of being of the soul. We are here to see the gifts in it all. And it's through seeing those gifts that we rise. Why I wore this today, because together we rise. Quoting someone that I love to still continue to watch videos of, even though she's no longer with us. Maya Angelou said in a very poignant moment, love liberates. It does not bind, it does not imprison, it does not contradict. Love liberates. So anything that is of reality and is of love is liberating and freeing and ascending. So if we are choosing to hold to an energy that is imprisoning, like grief, like trauma, like anger, like resentment, like shame and guilt, and so many other things, those are all illusions of the soul. And to simply say, oh, we're human, and so we're here to experience that, is a delusion. We were never intended to fall into that. But because we are all given free will to choose, we have chosen to walk this path in this way. But everything that exists now is calling us back. And make no mistake, we will all feel these things. We will all feel. I felt grief when my other dog passed away during COVID. We were all isolated enough, and my dog was my family, my best friend, and he passed away during that time. And it was very challenging. But even in the moments of that challenge, even when I put his body to rest in the woods where he played by my house, a cardinal came, a falcon came, a series of birds came, and their voices said to me, he is with us now, and he is still with you. And though there was the sadness, yes, of that sudden loss, from one day to the next, gone. It wasn't something that, oh no, he'd been sick for a while, anything. He just went really quickly, and I would prefer that anyway. It's not my choice, but, for him, I would not want to see him suffering. But even in those moments, I chose to see the magic of it. And I chose to sit there, and at the same moment, just tears and crying and sobbing, sitting on the stump of a tree by where he used to, right around where he used to play and where I put him in the earth. They were just there and were with me, and they were silent, but they all were facing me. I think there were 3 or 4 different birds, and they were all fully not like looking, no, fully facing me, so that I could be fully aware of their presence there, and their voices very clearly, vibrationally, but my heart, and then transitioning into what the mind might need to know as the words being said, that he is with us and he is still with you. And to ascend into the new earth, it asks of us to come into the reality of who we are and return to the awareness of ourselves as souls, so that we can see the reality of the events of the journeys. Because with every heartbeat that we have, every beat of our heart emits out whatever we're aligning with. If we're aligning with sadness, boom, 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 it goes out in waves. If we're aligning with anger, boom, boom, boom. It's out there. It's energy. It's vibration. But the same way, if we are aligned with the soul and that peace and that harmonious frequency, vibration, boom, boom, boom. Look at the physical world around you and imagine, what are most people holding on to? They're holding on to the illusions. We are the receivers. We are intended. That's why do you think that we breathe together with the truth? Why do you think that the Creator, that is a collective of innumerous elements, just as this earth and the universe is, why do you think that interchangeable exchange was created that way? The tree gives off what we breathe in, and vice versa. It's this synthesis. Together we breathe, both of us, all things. Because we breathe, the water exists, and vice versa. Because the water exists, we breathe. The water carries oxygen. So many elements carry oxygen, and then so many elements receive, CO2, I guess, the carbon-based. I don't know, I'm not a scientist, but you know what I'm talking about. So we are in a time where all that is asking of us to return to the awareness of the brilliance of who we are. And when we do that, all of this division in the world ends. All of the division ends. All of the notion that, oh, because I follow this religion, or because this is how much melanin I have in my skin, or this is my political point of view, or this is my whatever, these illusions of division as identities, when we ascend into the soul, all of that falls away. And just like in any forest, there's nothing that's in contradiction with another in the forest or on the earth, other than hello. And it's all here to show us the way home, so that we can align with that as well and live in that as well. All of the systems that are being put in place right now, anything. Yesterday I had something. For some reason I couldn't call out on my phone. I could text and other things, but I needed to reach people and talk, and I couldn't talk. And so I went in there, and we fixed it because I have an eSIM card. Not a physical one, but an eSIM. He said there's a glitch. There must be a glitch in your eCard. Let me remove that one and put you a new one in. There's no charge. And they did it, and they fixed it. It took a couple of minutes after, I guess, all of it was assimilated. But then he was telling me, then there's the sales guy. They want to sell you on another feature and another thing and another this. But there was something in me. It's like, okay, let's see what he's got. And he was offering me this, if you get the brand new Ultra 27 phone, 26 phone, whatever, we can do this with your plan, that with your plan, and it'll only be $15 a month. And I thought, okay, that sounds good. And I said, well, it's an exchange for your phone. And anyway, I started doing the math right in front of him. And he's like, oh, well, you caught me, didn't you? And I said, yeah, I did. He said, well, really, it would only be $5 if there weren't this thing added. It's a system playing games. All the systems are playing games. People are so afraid of AI. Not everyone, but many people are so wrapped up in this whole AI thing. AI is nothing different than the coming of the illusion of linear time, or the coming of the illusions of verbal communication, or religion, or governance. AI is just the next chapter of that journey more deeply into illusion that people are taking. AI does nothing but one thing. It mimics human behavior. And people are so afraid of it because it's like, here's a mirror for you. You want to really see who you are? In this behavior, in your mind-based behavior that you call human? Nothing to be afraid of when you are aligned with the soul, because you see beyond all of that. So this is the message I wanted to share today. I'm going to try and keep the videos around 20 minutes, 22 minutes. And in the last few minutes, I'll say thank you to everyone who watches these videos. My intention for making these videos is for inspiration, is for going along the journey with you with me, us exchanging. Personally, I do work one-on-one with folks to assist them in finding that way home. I have different services that I offer. If you would ever be interested in working together, either one-on-one or in a group, please contact me. You can contact me at alignmentlife11@gmail.com. You can leave a message here with your contact email or information or something you might be interested in. If you want to look at my website, you can look at my website at synthesis111.com. And I am waiting to receive the printed version of the cards that I utilize, the Seeds of Wisdom cards. And that will be an added service that I do, utilizing the cards. I do a service called the Synthesis Guidance System. It was something shared with me by star families, star beings, and numerous groups. And it's a literal opening of a doorway for you to see into the multifaceted world of your soul, to ask questions about why you are here, why you made specific choices that you made, and get clarity so that things can be seen from beyond the mind's perspective. So yeah, I'm going to hang out here for a while with my dog and do some personal work for myself. But I invite you to continue joining us in these videos. I will most likely do one every week from, hopefully always from a cool place like this during the warmer weathers of the month. And even I've been here in the winter. It's pretty frigid, but it's actually, there's a beauty to it as well, even during that time. But I tell you this, each one of you, each one of us, written in our DNA, which is the blueprint of our soul, are gifts. No one's gift is any higher, better, more or less than any other. But when we discover those gifts by aligning with our souls, we discover things that we never imagined are possible. And when we then unify those gifts with one another and find out how the pieces fit together, that's when the magic happens. That's why everything that's happening now is trying to divide us, because they are fully aware of that power we hold when we are in synthesis, when we all elements unify to form the whole. Many blessings to all of you, and we'll see you again soon.